Well, hi, we're the Jeff Ritchie Experience, better known as the JRE, because I don't like hearing my name that often. My name is Jeff Ritchie. I'm here on the bass, and I sing and I write the songs. Let me introduce the rest of the band to you. Over here is Mr. Randall Kahn on the dobro right now, but later on he'll be playing some banjo for you. And strangely closely related to him is Tyler Kahn. There's some family resemblance there on the mandolin. And hiding behind Tyler is Mike Berheide. Mike Berheide, who usually plays a full drum kit. I should say that we only do this acoustic thing some of the time. We're typically more plugged in, so there's usually a full drum kit. But today there's very little to protect Mike from the rest of us. He just has some congas and a snare drum and a hi-hat. And this sinister-looking fellow is Robert Rohrer on the guitar and the backing vocal. So we are the JRE. We've recently released our 9th album. It's called the Clear Creek Congregation, and we'd like to play you the title track from that record.
Outside for what's within, it's just a candle, but it can show the way. I know some folks who don't despair. They know that hope is all around. It's in the water and the air. It's in the sky and it's flowing from the ground. They are the Clear Creek Congregation. They're singing for a world gone wrong. They are the Clear Creek Congregation, and they want you all to sing along. They know the clocks don't keep the time. The sun goes up, the sun goes down, and in between the seasons make it right. Musicians, farmers, artists, all they tend their gardens every day. And when they hear the harvest call, they come together, they hold hands and they say, we are the Clear Creek Congregation, and we're singing for a world gone wrong. We are the Clear Creek Congregation, and we want you all to sing along. I know you want a circus show, lion tamers and trapeze. This ain't that kind of rodeo. There's no ringmaster to shout or to everyone about. Just a gentle people call the police. Please, we are the Clear Creek Congregation, and we're singing for a world gone wrong. We are the Clear Creek Congregation, and we want you all to sing along. wanna sing along.
So that's the title track off of the album, and the record is inspired by a community of folks who live in Rockcastle County, Kentucky, not very far from where Robert spends most of his time, called Clear Creek. And I would say that, at least as the guy who wrote the song, the inspiration really came from an admiration for what seems to me like a very resilient, creative, very rooted bunch of folks who really appreciate the land they're living on and in. And as we were making our way through the train wreck that was 2020, those seemed like important resources to celebrate. Specifically creativity, love of the land, love of natural beauty, and I would also say community, friendships, relationships, family. And so the whole album, in one way or another, celebrates one or more of those things on just about every song. And so it's kind of, I think it's conceived as a sort of message that, you know, if you remember those three really basic things, that we can make things, we can grow things, and we can be in relationship with each other, it doesn't have to be as bad as we make it out to be. And so that's really where that song is coming from. I don't know, fellas, is there anything you want to say about it? That's predictable. We were told we would come and play. No one mentioned anything about a speaking part.
There'll be snacks.
Yeah, maybe. If you're good, Mike, there'll be snacks. Play your cards right. I think we will then move along. We've got one more song we're going to share from the record. And this song is more, I think, appropriate to our instrumentation. We decided to go acoustic today because that's what the space sort of called for. We have kind of limited space here today. But before we do, I just want to say thank you very much to Randy and Colleen and Madison County Live and all the sponsors for having us on. It's really important, especially in these times, to support and draw attention to the music that's being made in our community. So we're really happy to have that opportunity. Thank you very much. This song is called When the End Begins, and that sounds pretty dire, but the idea behind it is that, again, at the beginning of the pandemic back in March and April, there was a lot of doomsday talk, a lot of concern that we might be at the end of something. And I think we were at the end of something, but it wasn't the end of the world. It was an end of being in the world in a certain kind of way. And I guess what I mean by that is that I don't think the pandemic changed the world. I think it may have changed our attitude towards the world, right? The world was always unpredictable and difficult and potentially fatal. And so
Change is the only constant.
we didn't,
100%.
yeah, ultimately. And so, you know, nothing about that changed. What changed was our awareness, or at least some of us had a change of awareness. And again, the same things we were just talking about. Faced with those realities, what can you take with you into that? And friends are a big part of it, and that's really what a lot of this is about. Is how about, instead of bringing out the worst in us, how about the best in us coming out in a scenario like that? So it's called When the End Begins, and it starts off with Robert.
It does.
You bet.
And we don't know how it will turn out in the end. But there is one thing I am certain of: I can always use a friend. At the end of the world, when we stand to be judged, when the saints confess their sin, I can bear anything with you by my side. How I wish it was the other way around. Now we're all standing 6 feet apart as our world comes crashing down. At the end of the world, when we stand to be judged, when the saints confess their sin, I can bear anything with you by my side. To be there with me in the end. Well, they say that a new world is on its way, and that nothing is born without tears. But the terrible strain that we're under today brings us all to into our fears. At the end of the world, when we stand to be judged, when the saints confess their sin, I can bear anything by my side. So there with me in the end. I can bear anything with you by my side. There with me in the
So thank you very much for being with us here at the end, and the end is always a new beginning. So thank you very much for letting us share our music with you. We appreciate it.
Madison County Live is brought to you in part by the Madison County Health Department, protecting, promoting, and improving the health of our community. The all-new Chevy Silverado, now available at Jack Burford Chevrolet and always available at jackburford.com. And by kymedia.net, digital media services from top-of-the-line video production to live streaming services. Now back to the show.